Chapter 9. What now? We stopped watching this for a bit and watch the 10th anniversary roleplay on Discord right now that's going on with the entire parody and see what these people think of some of my jokes. Well, that was rude. Screwball hopped once she hears her outside Trixie's wagon. She didn't need to slam the door in our faces. You shouldn't have called her a two-faced, mopey, identity-confused coward. Oppo murmured. She had it coming. Now what are we going to do? Twilight shrugged. We can't force her to change her mind. Sure we can. Ain't you ever heard of positive punishment? I brought the duct tape. Screwy. Let's just forget about it. She turned to him in confusion. Forget it? What do you mean forget it? Well, we could always kidnap her daughter. Look, it's obvious Bellatrix, Trixie, whoever she is, doesn't want the thrones, and I don't think any amount of duct tape is going to change her mind. Well, we gotta try something. Otherwise, the changelings won't stop bothering us until you agree to be king. Maybe I should be a king. Mopla quickly covered his mouth with her huff. It was too late. Screwball's eyes narrowed and her teeth gritted together. What? She spat. Mopla sent Twilight a glance and saw she was already slowly backing away, not wanting to get involved. He was on his own for this one. I keep telling you. Screwball can be your main queen. She could be the babe that you get all the lovin' with. Then you just find some random changeling whore. You hit her, and she becomes the baby maker. There, surrogate mother. You just let her be the one who makes the babies, and Screwball is the one who gets all the lovin'. I'm not seeing the difficulties here. I mean, he stammered, facing his fiancée. Well, like Twilight said, if I were king, I could change the colony for the better. Yes, but... Screwball said in a cracked voice, not believing what her boyfriend was saying. If you become king, I had to become changeling. But wouldn't that really be so bad? So yes, you said you liked me the way I was. I do, but it's not like we'd be changing anything about you, and we'd still be together. Isn't that all that matters? She also would become a baby maker. She paused, tears developing in spiral eyes. What if I don't want this for us? You would replace me with a changeling girl. Attention, tell her to Screwball, tell her to Mothball, tell her to Mothball. Repeat, your engines are burning, your navigation computer is out, and you're out of parachutes. I suggest you pull up, or put down some landing gear, because you're about to crash. Repeat, you're about to crash. Over. You're taking it back. Screwy, you know I wouldn't. But you would, after all. After all, you have to keep a species going, right? She held to her ring hoof. And this doesn't mean anything to you. Of course it does. You have any idea how long it took me to raise bips for that? He folded his hose. But apparently, it doesn't mean much to you. Okay, now not only are your engines burning, but your tail rudder is broken. You're crashing and burning. I repeat, you're crashing and burning. I suggest you bail out before this thing blows up in your fracking face and I laugh at you. Over. See, Blake, what do you mean? I thought that when ponies got married, they would love and accept each other no matter what. Where one goes, the other follows. I don't know if you know this, Guri, but I'm the prince of the changelings. Whether I like it or not, it's a part of me. If you can't accept that, maybe you don't love me as much as I thought. We're here at the site of Mothball's Relationship Memorial Airport. We're seeing right now the biggest crash and burn that you've ever seen in your life. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. Are right now trying to fix this, but it looks like it's going to be a tough one. Right now, watching this crash and burn is the only thing that's causing Legendbringer to not snap at the idea that we're about to do another third act breakup. It's not even a third act breakup. This is a first act breakup. I don't even know how that's possible. Do we really have to do this? No, we don't. But unfortunately, when it comes to a plane crash like this, you cannot look away. Papa, you should have listened to me when I warned you. Over. Screwball's eyes were now completely glazed in water. And beside them, Mothball regretted what he said. Screwy. I didn't mean it like, fine, she snapped. If that's what you think of me, then... She grunted as she tugged the amethyst ring off her hoof and slammed it to the ground. Mothball stood frozen in his socks as he watched his gloves stomp away. Mothball, you're dead. Where are you going? Twilight asked as Screwball passed her. The chaotic pony came to a stop. I don't know. Well, we can't go anywhere now. It'll be dark soon. We should make camp for the night. Fine! A small pink tent materialized. Twilight peered in and realized it was bigger on the inside, with a kitchen, living room, 2 adjoining bedrooms. Mothball was about to fall in the mare's inn when Screwball's furious head poked out. Oh, no, you don't. She exclaimed, you're sleeping in there. She pointed to a simple brown tent, even smaller than the pink one appeared on the outside. He trotted over to it and looked inside. The space was as small as it could have been. On the ground laid a pillow and a blanket covered in moss. He had grown at Screwball's cruel sense of humor. Can we talk about this? He called out to her. No! Screwball screamed before disappearing into her tent. Mothball, after a plane crash like that, I'm surprised she's not running over to her daddy and telling him to drop a meteor, followed by an asteroid, followed by Jupiter on you. I'm surprised she's not asking him to pull a char on you. Mothball huffed and crawled into his tiny little living space for tonight. He shooed the moths away and curled up under a blanket. Then he frowned and turned back to himself as he lifted the ring of his magic so it was floating above him. A familiar feeling came to him, one he hadn't felt for 5 years. He felt it the night he had betrayed Screwball to the changelings. Guilt. Oh, Screwy. He sighed sadly. I really screwed up this time, didn't I? Yes, you did. You didn't just screw up. You exploded. Alright, the fire crews are still trying to put out the flames of your relationship. Then he began to silently cry, thinking of how Screwball could have laughed at that unintentional pun. I went with Valley Girl because I felt like that was normal, but somebody suggested to do the Billy Trixie voice, and I figured that might be a lot of fun to pull off. So, what was that all about? It's just Twilight's autograph, but what's she doing here in the first place? Trixie sighed. Twilight and I have a bit of a hurry. We dated a lot. Julie's eyes widened as she tried to sign picture in her host. What? You know, it's just Twilight, you never told me. It was a long time ago, and she wasn't a princess back then. Unbelievable! But why is she still here? Trixie took a frying pan from the shelf and set it on the greasy stove. Hand Mummy the chili peppers, will you? Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away. Not the Red Hots. No. Looming there in her eyes, seeing her mother was ignoring her questions as usual. Nevertheless, she was hungry and levitated the shopping basket over to her. After spraying some oil, she looked a bunch of peppers out of the basket and laid them neatly on the pan. Do you want them lightly fried or deep fried tonight? Lightly, Lupine replied, holding her hus. Don't think I don't know what you're doing. You're avoiding the topic again. I don't know what you're talking about, Tracy said dryly. Yeah, you do. Whenever you don't want to talk about something, you shut me out, do something like start dinner. Why Ripper, it's just slightly those other ponies visiting you. And why did you just send them out like they were tax collectors or something? Nobody in their right mind would kick a princess out. You forget who we are, Moonbeam. Do you have any idea what would have happened if you sneezed in front of the princess? Oh, come on, see one. Moonbeam sniffed as her mother started shaking the pepper into the pan. She sneezed. Green flames rose up her body. Her mane remained the same color, but had become flat and webby. Her body was now sleek and black. A green bell shell held the transparent wings on her back. Her eyes were still yellow, but the pupils had narrowed to the slits. If her horny tail and hose of chains, no sign was given. As you were still concealed by her and she turned back. See, Tracy said, you got to learn to control that. If any place sees what you really are, you'll be sent on a one-way trip to the Canterlot. A princess witnessing this would make absolutely sure. She dropped her onto her rear. Okay, I get it. Well, why do I get to wear this dumb stuff? Yeah, I can live with, but these boots are pinchy, and my heel keeps running up my face. That's so bad about the stuff I can't hide when I'm a pony. It's not like they know I'm a changeling if anybody sees. Tracy sighs. You'll still be ostracized, Moonbeam. Let's pony see what's underneath those clothes. They'll laugh at you, ridicule you, to the point where you feel small and, she said the last word in a whisper, worthless. Mimi, it won't be like that, Philly insisted. After all, there's always a half stop on Hill. You got Eagle Lions, Scorpion Lions, Pyro Lions, guys, and what's a daddy ain't? Tracy spun around, glared at her. Don't! I told you once, I told you 1,000 times, Moonbeam. We are never to speak of the big D word, ever! Trust me, Moonbeam, she said softly. When you're older, you'll understand about these things. She turned back to the stove, and Moonbeam knew that meant discussion was closed for the moment, sadly, as she stood up, walked to the door. She threw open the upper part and gazed out. Her eyebrows shot up in surprise when she discovered the two friends outside. Mom! She called. Somebody's camping up here. I think it's Princess Twilight as I do. What? Tracy exclaimed, dropping her pan and coming to the window. She gazed down. Sure enough, Mothball in his Pegasus disguise popped his head out of the brown tent to stare across at the pink one. Ugh! Tracy groaned. You just don't give up, do they? You invite them over for dinner. Mothball is cleaning the air eagerly. No. We never have any pony for dinner. And for good reason. Her mother snapped as she turned to the stove. Come on, Mom. The filly begged. It's Princess Twilight. We be dining with royalty. Tracy momentarily snorted as the irony of the statement, but held her sternness. We're not inviting you to dinner, and that's final. You know, one of these days, over here, we're going to have a con, and Kathleen Barr is going to come over. And one of those days, I'm going to have a Trixie off with her. I will. Moonbeam narrowed her eyes at her mother. Then she pushed open the lower door so she could trot outside. You never let me have any friends, she mumbled. It wasn't that she didn't love her mother. They went through a lot together. Moonbeam she knew she cared about her well-being. After all, they were all each other had. She just wished she wasn't so cold most of the time. She knew her mother loved her, but also she was hiding a lot. Her mother hadn't revealed much about her life before Moonbeam was born. She never discovered her childhood, only that both her parents were gone, and that subject of Moonbeam's father was especially delicate. See, all she knew was that he had left before her mother realized her pregnancy, and that Moonbeam had him to thank for the way she looked. Well, not the changeling part anyway. Moonbeam was well aware of the consequences of revealing that part of herself. Changelings were not welcome in Equestria, because their shape-shifting powers were considered a threat. However, she didn't see the harm in taking her hat, pants, and boots off. It was so annoying wearing these things all the time. and her mother could have at least chosen a more comfortable disguise. Yet her mother scolded her every time she tried removing her clothes in public. Well, it is a little bit indecent. We never wear clothes anyway. There wouldn't be much point anyway. They would still be friendless. Along with all the cheering on the wagon, they had never stayed in one place for long. A few ponies her age came to her mother's shows. Every time she had the opportunity to make friends, however, her mother would call her away. She worried Moonbeam would sneeze and expose herself if she stayed around ponies for too long. Well, Moonbeam wasn't going to give up. Even if these ponies weren't her age, they were interested in her. Not just the princess, but her companions. The one with the swirly eyes was especially intriguing. And the similarities between the green Pegasus stallion's scent and her own piqued her curiosity. Her mother had forbidden her from inviting them to dinner, but hadn't said anything about paying them a visit. So he went to the brown tent first and popped her head in. Hi! The Pegasus stallion jumped with a yelp and touched something behind his back. The Moonbeam had already seen the doll. So he ignored this, however, and smiled brightly. Mothball, I know you're lonely. I know that you're missing Screwball. But, Smarty Pants is not a good replacement for a woman. The stallion took a moment to recuperate. Oh, it's you. Mine. Are you teasing me? He shrugged and scooted over so she could have space to enter. Moonbeam glanced around with a grimace on her face. Wow, this place is worse than the wagon, she said when she sat down beside him. I would have thought the princess's buddies would be sleeping somewhere more glamorous. Opal groaned. Let's just say I'm in a timeout. She raised her eyebrow. It's just Twilight, but you're in a timeout. Not Twilight. My fiancée. Moonbeam glanced outside and back to him. You mean the mirror with the lollipop eyes? He chuckled a bit. That's what I call them. What is he, by the way? Screwball. He's the dark discord. Her eyebrows went higher. You mean the chaos guy? No way. Ways. Wow. Wait, I remember. This Discord dude being one of the bearers of the Elements of Harmony. Didn't he? She frowned. But then she died. What? Mom tells me that story every now and then. Not a very nice ending. Mom didn't die. I mean, Flutter Z kind of did, but Z isn't. And the point is, he's still alive. Really? Moonbeam said, tilting her head. Wonder why Mom told me that. Must have been poetic license. What's your name anyway? He hesitated. Tracy probably didn't want him revealing everything to her daughter, but I figured there's no harm in telling her his name. Mothballs, he said, holding out his hoof. She grinned and shook his hoof enthusiastically. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Moonbeams. So, how do you know my mom? He froze. Now what should he do? He couldn't reveal that he was her royal half-brother. And was it so wrong to the least admit his relation to her? Not only was she just now starting to sink in that this was the little filly's uncle. He was an uncle. She was his niece. She should have the right to at least know, right? He terrified, biting his lip. I'm kinda her brother's. Mom doesn't have any brothers or sisters. Mothball sighed. Well, I guess that's half true. We hadn't even officially met until today. The half-brothers. Half-brothers? The mother, different fathers. You can't be my uncle. To be my uncle, he had to be a... She paused and took another sniff at him, eyes wide in disbelief. Are you? He smiled. That's right. You're teasing me. Yeah, pretty much. She narrowed her eyes skeptically across her hooves. Perfect. He shrugged. Okay. Transformed insanely self-drunk. Oh my god.
You are my uncle.
Small Ball Smirk told you so. Her face glowed as she grinned.
This is incredible. I never had an uncle before.
I've never had a niece before.
So, Uncle Mozzie, may I call you Uncle Mozzie?
He shrugged. Sure.
Uncle Mozzie, can you tell me stuff about my grandma? Mom doesn't talk about my grandparents much. Just as they died before I was born. But I didn't think they were out of changelings in Equestria. I wondered they would be my uncle.
Mothball wasn't sure how to respond. He knew that Trixie was keeping things from her daughter, but they didn't think it would be this much. So he tell her? He was looking up at him with hopeful eyes. He didn't want to disappoint her. Well, she's dead to Trixie. You see Discord play the role of uncle with the foals of lighter-sized friends. They usually involve taking them for rides on motorcycles, giving them gifts such as stuffed animals and spat jelly at adult ponies. Sometimes he would just sit with them on the couch and tell them wacky stories. What's it for Moonbeam? That cool male adult figure that would show her and tell her exciting and interesting things.
We're sorry, but Elizabeth had a joke that involved the other type of Uncle Discord could be, and what Mothball could be. But for the sake of decency, we decided to omit it. You're welcome.
He started to say.
Moonbeam!
Dude jumped to turn to see Trixie, angry, his head poking out.
How many times have I told you not to go wandering?
So he froze to the side of Mothball in his changeling form.
What do you think you're... Isn't that great, Mom? Moonbeam said excitedly. Mountain here is a changeling too.
Trixie glared at her half-brother, then at her daughter.
Moonbeam, come out here this instant.
The filly rolled her eyes.
Okay. But can Uncle Mothy join us for dinner?
Her mother raised an eyebrow.
Uncle Mothy. You told me that to your brother and sister.
Her glare went back to Mothball as he gritted her teeth.
Did he now? So, can't you sing? It's not every day we have family over. How do I find out more about my grandparents and...
Trixie's eyes widened before narrowing again.
That's enough. Out here. Now! I like to tell a tall Mothy.
Moonbeam sighed, she rushed to her house.
Fine.
Once the filly was out of her tent, Trixie stepped in, eyes burning into Mothballs.
You showed her that you were a changeling.
She growled. I didn't tell her about the hive or royalties, he insisted, holding out his hose. I just felt that she should be no related. She stepped further in, so she was just inches from her face.
Why are you all still here? The Impeltrix make it perfectly clear that she does not want to associate herself with the hive anymore.
Look, you don't want the Thrones, I understand. Who does has been traveling all day and need rest? Besides, You might actually been rethinking Mother's offer. Trixie raised an eyebrow.
What about that little girlfriend of yours?
Well, the only thing the evidence is for her to see.
Oh. She's got... No wonder you're sleeping in separate tents. What happened? You and Miss Juliet were in the same place?
Let's not talk about that, he said, dropping the ring. Why do you keep lying to Moonbeams?
I thought I already established that I don't want her to get tangled up in...
Not about changelings, but other things.
What do you mean?
You told me about one of your bedtime stories, the one about Mama Discord.
Excuse me?
She said, cocking her head.
I never tell her stories about Mother, especially her history with Discord.
No, I mean Flutter's eye in Discord. She scoffed.
You call that Wimpy Pegasus' mom?
She's not wimpy, and yes, she's been taking care of me since I left the hives. But that's not the point. Why did you tell Moonbeams he had died?
Trixie looked away from her. What's the use of giving her false hope in a world where happy endings don't exist?
He blinked. So you tell her stories with sad endings like that? Her glare returned.
How do I raise my daughters? None of your business. You stay away from her, or I swear Bellatrix will tear you limb from limb.
On that note, she turned on her heel and started to leave. You know, for someone who doesn't have a heart, you seem to care a lot about your daughters. Paused for a moment, then turned her head slightly and said in an almost regretful tone,
There's a difference between caring for somebody and loving somebody.
So she opened the flap and went outside. Moonbeam was waiting, staring up at her mother with narrow eyes and pound lip. What?
You never let me hang out with any pony,
her mother complained.
Yeah, why? But when somebody you know's our secret comes along, you do the same thing. Why can't Uncle Mothie come to dinner? Why?
Because as desperate as he is, he might, instead of being the fun uncle like Discord, might be the creepy uncle like the one you see on Tommy. Ow!
Moonbeam, get to under. Please, please.
Trixie rolled her eyes as the filly wrapped her hose around her foreleg. She knew she was never going to hear the end of it, so she had no choice.
Alright, you can come to dinner.
Moonbeam clapped her front hose again.
Oh, it's just fly. Fine, you can come too, but on one condition. You are not to discuss anything about changelings, alright? I swear. Moonbeam.
The filly sighed.
I won't bring it up. Good girl. Now go inside and keep an eye on the peppers.
Moonbeam rolled her eyes as he complied with her mother's request. Trixie moaned as he poked her head back in Mothball's tent.
Congratulations, he grumbled. You're invited to dinner.
Mothball opened his mouth to speak.
But you're not to talk about the hives, or mother, or anything regarding our changeling heritage.
Mothball shook his head. She nodded and disappeared. But you should, he finished under his breath. Trixie trotted over to the pink tent and peered in.
Twilight, you...
She trailed off when she got a good look at the amount of space inside.
What the?
Daughter of Chaos, she said from her purple couch, tilting her head towards one of the bedrooms.
Right, Trixie said, shaking her head. Anyway, Moonbeam wants you losers to join us for dinner.
Nalgorn grinned politely.
We'd be delighted to join you. Don't think that this means anything, Twilight. You're not to talk about the Changeling. And when the sun rises tomorrow, I expect to see you and your logic-defying tent's gone! Does that mean we won't reignite our relationship? But, Twilight, you're married.
Oh, pshaw.
You see, me and Flash have agreed on a polyamorous relationship. Ooh, over marriage. Trixie likes.